friends. So today I'm coming to you from wintry Florida, where it's like 47 degrees and we're freezing to death. And today I have two new stamp sets. One is a whole bunch of numbers, which is amazing for me. I bought these last year. I'm on a no-buy year, but then I went around and found them all the ones I had already bought. I'm going to ease into the stamp set year. This is an amazing one. So I got this one from Simon Says Stamps, and what they did was they made dies for each of these shapes, which is brilliant, because we're going to do some stamping and some die cutting today. And we're going to use ink, and we're going to use embossing. So the first thing I want to do is to get this out of here. And I don't keep these in packages. I have a stamp and die system based on magnets, because I am not patient enough. I wonder if you can, do you have to cut these? I think I've seen somewhere you have to cut these. All right, here's our crappy scissors. Oops, I glued it down. So what I'll do is I will have this little magnetized thing stuck by, do I need nippers? I do not think I have nippers in here. I can't imagine they expect us all to have nippers. So let's see what happens if we wiggle it just a little bit. And there we go. So first off, you can definitely wiggle it and get that metal to be weak enough to pull apart. I wonder if there were directions. Hold on. Warning, choking hazard, fair, no directions. All right, so now that we have one of these free, let's see if we can cut off these little nubbies. These are not the best scissors, but I'm not going to use my good scissors to cut metal for Pete. All right, I think I'm just going to have to live with little metal things stuck off. If you know what to do, and I'm doing it wrong, because I think it's going to be a little bit owie, let's at least get them all pointed the same way. Let me know in the comments below, please. But in general, this is the kind of thing that's going to annoy me in the early days, and then in 5 minutes, I will have forgotten the whole problem, and it's just not going to be a bother. So do not fret. This will not ruin our day of crafting. I'm going to pull these apart. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to do something in here, because some of them are inside the other ones. Maybe I have to figure something out. Or maybe we just won't use the ones that are inside another one for a minute. Okay. I've got maybe an answer. That's a terrible answer. I thought maybe kitchen scissors would do it. I don't know what to think. Is this supposed to be like this? Is this why this is? I don't think so. Anyways, if you figure out how to get my ones from out of here, from in here to out of there, let me know. Kitchen scissors was not the answer. All right. So I have a couple other things going on today. I found a piece of cool, heavy, clear plastic with gunk already pre-added. So I think we're going to use that in one of our peep through pages. And then I use Distress Glaze on these cover pieces, because I understand Tim Holtz doesn't mind if every friggin' thing reacts with water. But I was going around with my India ink underneath here. Maybe I should burnish that a little bit, because I used my fingers. So let's burnish our front pages, just to get the majority of the, oh look, I got it on my thing. That's fine, because I want that to be naturally dirty and icky. Could you imagine if I had one clean thing? And that's what the problem is with this. Is this background and this copper is really pretty clean, and I need to be able to grunge it up some, but you can't grunge it up when it's the Distress Oxide. So Better Living Through Chemistry, Distress Glaze closes that up. We'll work on that next time. So now let's do some stamping, and then we'll do the die cutting. So last week we made these backgrounds. So this is what we're going to use for the color palette of the stamps. And let's figure out which ones we can cut out easily. So ovals, yes. Look how cute this little one is. So we're going to do this. I leave them, it's called weeded. So you could unweed this and have just the stamps and no background on it. That's not my gig. I like to be able to put them back in and for it to have, like they all mind each other. Ooh, I love this one. Cute. We're going to need some triangles. I'm not going to use the numbers from this set. There's a couple little numbers. Ooh, wait a minute. Do I like that handwriting number? No handwriting number. Look at that. This handwriting number. Okay. Let's get about 3 more. All right. I like this one. I like this one. I'm just trying to get kind of different little looks. Let's see. What else do we have that's... oh, look at this. Okay. So, that's our first set of ones we're going to stamp. And we're going to stamp these in different ways. First off, easy peasy lemon squeezy, we're going to use black archival ink and make some of them black. There we go. Let's do a couple of these on each color. And these square ones, if you don't have the cutty-outy things, just do them near the edge and then you can just cut 2 sides. Okay, that's going to be our green color. This is going to be our purple color. I'm going for the lightest portion of this one so that we can see it real well. Let's get a different shape. We'll do this little type guy. Is that just the words? Is that the words or is it a shape? Ooh, it's just the words. Fun. Fun, fun. Okay, so we have 2 of those, and then let's do the last 2 of these. Nice, and a little pressure, not a lot. Okay, now we're gonna switch. Oh, let's try something. That could be fun. Let's try something else. We're gonna use clear, very fine powder. Very fine, super fine. So I'm gonna empty this out because this is thick. And those little skinny lines, probably, thicket to me is good for coating something. It's not good for, like, details, I think. Okay, so let's do a different one on this and see if we like. So we're going to have this ready to go. Because ink is not as good as embossing powder for staying open to emboss, but it will work. Okay. So now we have that, and it'll emboss clear, and we're going to see if it looks better than just the plain black one. Okay. I like them both. I like them both because this is very bold, and this is very faded. So we've got 2 different looks just using black. We're going to switch to the numbers. But I'm not going to have 1 million different stamps here because nobody notices. Not even you. I guarantee you when you get going in your book, you're not going to notice. You're just going to grab a purple, grab a pink, whatever. And there we go. Cool. All right. I'm going to do the other 2 colors and I'll be right back. Okay. I lied to you. I got 1 more. Anyways, I guess I got so excited about starting, I didn't tell you about my supplies I have. So, obviously, we had very fine clear powder, which means, and the beauty about that is if you're on a budget, you can use any of your inks to make colors, and you don't have to buy all the different colors. Just buy 1 little jar. This thing has lasted me forever. Buy 1 little jar of clear powder, and I like super fine, and you can make any colors you want. This will work with any color ink. So that's a thought. Next, let's do a color. And I have a whole bunch of distress colors. So this one is, if I had to guess, I'd say Uncharted Mariner, but we're gonna look. This is Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm gonna do this on the green, okay? So contrasting similar colors. It's gonna look very beautiful, and it's gonna be translucent. So the Distress Embossing Powders are a translucent embossing, so you'll be able to, well, it's very small. You would be able to see some of the stuff between it. And then my favorite embossing powder is Versamark. If you can only do one, get Versamark. It's very gooey and lovely and works great. All right. Now you see it hooked on to where that embossing powder is. I also have the $7 tray from Amazon that I would not emboss without, because you can just pour it back in. Okay, let's see. Do we love that? It's okay. I don't feel like it came out as crisp with this kind of embossing powder as maybe I would like. Oh, don't forget super fine, friends. So I love this embossing powder, but we're going to stick with something that's super fine. Okay, here goes. This is going to be beautiful. We're going to make some gold. And just so I don't forget, I don't want that one. So you know what I'm going to do with it? Right in the trash. Let's try this again. I don't think I have copper embossing powder. This will stay open. You don't have to be as stressed out about this. Okay, there we go. Let's see how it works. Super fine. That's just what I needed. Right there. That looks so much better. Okay, I'm going to go through and do a round of gold, and I'll be right back. Okay, I smooshed those ones back in, so I can put this in my stamp bin. I'm going to leave out the dies, and we're going to switch over to numbers. So what numbers do we want? I always want, and well, we have to cut out. So, oh, this is an awesome number. Okay, so we're going to do number 15 typewriter. So, stamp sets are not cheap by any means, but the cool thing about them is once you have them, you can use them forever. So if you're buying ephemera, ooh, look at department 256. I like, well, I'm not going to take out the ones that'll make it, so I can't put them all back. There's this one. Ooh, there's a great number right there, right in the middle. Anyways, if you're on a budget, you could even find a friend and say, hey, do you want to buy this set together, and then split it in half? I mean, you get a lot of numbers. I never use all the numbers from the set. And knowing me and my friends, I'm sure that the ones that I don't like are the ones that they would like. All right, let's go ahead and put the gold away. You could also use a piece of paper, fold it in half, and use that as a funnel if you didn't have this fancy plastic thing. But I've had that for, I don't know, 5 years, and there's nothing to go wrong with it. So I think we're going to be good forever. Okay, I have, next one we're going to use is called Superfine White. We'll probably go back to some of the blacks, but I'm going to at least show you the Superfine White. And this is why none of my stamps ever look like they've been used, because I tend to use them more for, I push too hard and you can see a little bit of the stamp, but that's fine. I use them more for embossing than stamping. I blow from the bottom until it's melted, and then I blow from the top to make sure everything is melted. All right, I'm going to do a whole bunch of white ones and then probably some more black ones, and I will be right back. Okay, so I think this one came out really well. This one came out really well, and I don't love this because we're losing all our green. It's just too light, and yes, I could darken it, but I'm beyond that stage. So I don't want to accidentally use this later because I don't like it. Oh my gosh, I have Seth Apter Crusty Copper. I don't think Crusty Copper will work great for this super fine detail, but we're gonna try. All right, so we have to break it up so we make sure we shake it. See those little clumps? There we go. So let's get rid of this white. I was thinking maybe black, but then I saw Crusty Copper and I was like, this could be the answer to all my prayers. And if you ever get another color into like your white or something, what you can do is you can just shake it, and one granule of something else is not going to corrupt your. If you're fussy, then it will, but mostly I feel like it doesn't. Let's see how the copper does. How exciting is this? Crusty Copper. It's such a Seth Apter thing. He works a lot with Paper Artsy, and we'll look and see who made that embossing powder. But with our copper theme, how amazing is that? Let's see how it does. Okay, I feel like it's a little hard to see on the red, but not impossible. I'm keeping it. But maybe that's not my favorite color. Maybe our beautiful green will finally come into her own, and this will be the color for her. All right, let's try this again. I love that I'm able to add all these golds and coppers and metals, and I'm pushing too hard. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see the sheen of copper in there. I'm in love. I'm in love. Thank you, Seth Apter. And I will leave links to everything I'm using below. Oh, we were gonna, oops, I don't want to do that. Over here. This was made by, I just dumped it, but I saved it. This was made by, I don't know who. I'm going to clean that up. I'll be right back. You just put it back in the jar. Okay, it's all back in its little bottle. And if we put that in there, oh, here's a funny thing. So we dumped it, and you'd think we lost everything. But look, most times it all has a trouble, even if we used it, to get back in its bottle because you've unsifted it down. So, no, catastrophe averted. You never have to worry about that. Embossing powder is functionally tiny, tiny, tiny pieces of plastic that when you heat them up with your embossing tool become melted. And that's when they get their shape. So don't fret about your embossing powder. Your embossing powder is the hardiest thing you have. Look, so good. All right, do I have a 245? I have a 4, oh no, fun. Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick and I will be right back. All right, kids, we're going to keep this out here right front and center because I am probably going to be using a bunch of this copper embossing powder for different projects on our... Oh, some fell out again. So good. So good, Seth. Okay. So now I have done all of my stamping for today. So I'm going to put all my stuff away and then I'll be right back and we'll do the die cuts. Okay, so if you thought I was going to get out some big old machine, you're wrong. We're going to use the Sidekick. This is a little baby die cutting machine with, I just got some new plates. And you want to kind of keep an eye on it because there are rolled edges. And when you put them through here, you can do it really, really easily. I am going to link to the die cutting tutorial I have on my blog if you need to know more. All right, so now we're going to cut this out with as much space as I have. It's not like I didn't have a big amount of paper to work with. And then we're going to find the little die that goes on it, and the flat part goes on the top, and the beveled part goes on the bottom. And we're going to put that on our thing. And then I like to use a little piece of washi tape because I don't like having to mind my dies. All right, this is the same one as that one, so we can't do that one, but we can do this one. And honestly, we could have just cut squares, right? A little bit lazy. I need one that's a tiny bit smaller. Let's go with this one. There we go. That's going to cut right around that. And we'll get a little piece of washi tape. And we're going to be doing a whole lot more die cutting this year. So you will be happy if you were to pick up a little sidekick. And they're very affordable. The big die machines are like $100 each. The sidekick is, you can pick it up with a little die set on sale for super cheap. All right, we're going to go through once. It's not going to feel like it's doing anything. We're going to come back through. Ooh. And if your sidekick is a little older like mine is, sometimes I have to put a little extra piece of paper to get it to do what I want it to do. But see, cuts it right out. And then what I do is I put the little pieces of tape up there. Look how good that cut that out. Nicely done, me. Where's our collection? Up there. Let's see how this one did. That is brilliant. Now, if you cared more, you could make sure they're lined perfectly up. But I will tell you, vintage stuff wasn't made perfectly. And so if you spend tons of time trying to make all your vintage appearing things look perfect, you're kind of not catering to and put them closer to the middle than the edge. You don't want to have them kicking right on the edge there. What else do we have? Ooh, this little kind of rectangular one. So if you've been listening to me anytime, you don't know that I stutter because I edit all my videos. But I was recently astounded to discover how much I stutter. And I asked my bestie this morning, I'm like, do I stutter? And she's like, yeah, but it doesn't bother me. I'm like, you could have told me I stutter. I probably should have noticed sooner, but I didn't. All right, we'll do one more. And then I'm going to cut these out. And then we'll do the wrap up and you'll get to see everything all at once. And I just use a little piece of washi tape because I don't want to have to bother. You don't have to do a piece of washi tape, but it just makes it easier. And there's this one. Wink. And there's that one. How cool is that? All right, I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut these all out and I will be back to show you them all at the end. All right, so we made a whole bunch of little ephemera. I'm going to put it in my project tray. So I use these project trays to keep everything together. Right now I'm going to probably put this at the bottom so that I can remember I have it. I did save some of these pieces that I can use later on. And then I'm going to use some, let's find my deposit photo, my vintage photo. And there is a good chance that it's over in my bedroom, sitting beside the bed. So that is going to wrap up today. Hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.